Top of the morning to everyone. Going turkey hunting, in case y'all couldn't guess that. Bright and early. Squirrel is pushing the deer out of the way with this here Kia this morning. We'll kind of do something similar to what we did yesterday. Park a vehicle on either end and walk through, hunt our way through all day. Looking at about a 7.5 mile venture today.
It's in the reverse order.
Yep, we're gonna start where we stopped yesterday, because that's where Squirrel put one up. I don't know if you say put it up. You heard it gobble a couple times on roost yesterday evening. So it knows the general vicinity and where it's at. So we're gonna go in the pitch dark and try to guess about where he's at, and hopefully with a little luck we'll be nice and tight off roost and can maybe make a play right here at the start of another day. Up and away we soon will be. We're just gonna, pretty simple, we're just gonna go in here and climb up under him and let him gobble and convince him we're a hen, and he's gonna fly down to us and we're gonna shoot him. Simple as that.
This is not us, right?
I think it is us.
don't sound like they're getting closer to me. What? They don't sound like they're getting closer to me. Deer on it. Shit, that's gonna get tough. Not as far as they seem. I know. not gonna lie, we're trying to kill the other one. It's unreal how unwilling they are to come to the top, to that field. So we looped around and started side hilling, and they were on a big spur came out. Had one little dip in it, and they were on the other side of that dip on that big spur. We got on the same spur with them, just around the dip. And dude, we barely caught. I barely caught to them at all from here. You know?
Yeah, we did more scratching than
Scratching, and I did some little bitty like yelps. Dude, they came on a string. And they got right out there in front of me. It had to be about 50 yards and gobbled about 3 times, I think it was. And I could hear him drumming.
You could see him at that?
I couldn't see him when he's gobbling, but he was right behind that big old tree that you see right downhill from me.
Yep.
I hear him drumming, and I saw him come up to the left, and I had to let him walk to the left a little ways. Boy, he got right there to that tree, and he strutted. God, he was pretty.
That's awesome. This has got to be the pair that we messed with yesterday.
Oh, yeah. You missed, yeah, absolutely. We must not have been in earshot of them yesterday. You know? If we didn't hear any turkeys gobbling like that yesterday.
No.
They may have had hens yesterday, I don't know.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, we were a little out of the game off the roost, but like I said,
We were close enough to make a move on them.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, we were just in a pinch.
Because that field.
Because that field, we couldn't cross the top to get over in here with them, in the bottom with them. I wonder what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's still walking or if he's just standing up there looking somewhere. It's a little breezy this morning, but other than that, it's a really nice morning.
I heard another, be here 3 turkeys this morning. These 2 and the other one.
He was way on up the way, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or not too far, but he was up the way.
I think we were too far into hearing them turkeys yesterday.
Yeah.
Damn. You guys know what time it is now. By this time, you know what's up. I wanted to come with you on this double tree because I couldn't.
I didn't think we could get to it. I told you to get to that one.
Yeah.
Which would have probably been fine on that one. But they gobbled again. I thought, I can crawl to that tree. But I didn't think there was this much of a roll in that hill. I thought you'd still be able to video fine. There's about a 4-foot difference in elevation, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, usually.
See that thing?
That's gorgeous.
If there has ever been a tree to sit down and kill a turkey at, I mean, it's like a...
That's a perfect seat for your
It's a
buck.
perfect seat right there.
I'll show you what I'm doing.
I mean, that is a perfect seat. I slid into that thing, couldn't believe how good it was.
They're walking the frame. Good gobbler.
gobbling like that?
Yeah, he ain't no 2-year-old.
He's not a 2-year-old.
I seen him hooks.
He may be 2 years past it.
Ooh. Who's in on that?
Probably
Pull it up again.
inching in 1/8 or so.
Beautiful.
At least a 3-year-old turkey.
Oh yeah, sure. Look at the rope on that joke.
These damn turkeys got some beards, don't they? Golly. Well, we lucked up this morning. Squirrel come in here last evening. Actually, of yesterday afternoon, I guess it was about lunch.
We're gonna revisit the sore open wound. Are we again? Tell me about it again. Not like it hasn't ran through my mind all day long, all night long.
At least we got even with one of them.
Yeah, we did. I appreciate it. So go ahead, let's back to the story.
Yesterday afternoon, right across this bottom here. Wasn't it right over there?
Ooh, that way.
The
Yeah.
bottom somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a finger that comes off into that bottom from the other side, and squirrel sent about, I don't know, $6 or $7 worth of TSS at this guy. One of them, him or his brother, one. And anyways, he came back in here late yesterday evening. I went over there to the other side and proceeded to bust every turkey on, well, probably not every one, but a large portion of the turkeys that flew up on the side that I went to, I relocated to a different zip code. I bumped turkeys everywhere I turned. But old squirrel got in here and heard a turkey gobble. I swear I just heard a turkey gobble.
I thought I told him down there, right?
I thought it was over here.
Could very well be the one we heard this morning down here.
Yeah. Huh. He heard him gobble over this direction. Kind of put a pin. We wasn't real sure exactly where. We sat up. We were probably a few hundred yards from him. 400 or 500 yards, you think? Maybe not that far.
No, I don't think we were that far.
Anyways, these two were burning it up. I mean, they were gobbling crazy good all alone, and they didn't like it. But we came to the top. There's these fields up on top. They had this little field mowed out up on top. We found these turkeys don't like the tops or the fields very much. I mean, these are woods turkeys. They like the woods, which is right up my alley. So
Yeah, but they like the lower sides.
yeah, they like the sides, which it could be because it's been about this windy as well. I hope this isn't tearing the audio to pieces, but anyway, got to the top of the field and hit them with a call, and they just came to pieces, but they were not coming up to that field. So we made a loop. There's just a knob, basically. They were on this side of the knob. There's a little swell, and it rises up to another little high spot. But they were on this side. The field runs along the main ridge up on top. We had to drop down and come around the side on them. Once we got around the side, we got to just to where we weren't seeing them, and they gobbled, and we just barely called to them. I'm talking just clucks and purrs and some real soft little yelps and scratching in the leaves. And squirrel got a tree, and like always in this rolling terrain, I have to wait on this wind.
Got that one right, guys.
Hope y'all weathered the storm. Gonna blow that thing, slam off the tripod. But anyway, just some scratching in the leaves, and like always in this Pinhoti project thing, we've said all along that we're gonna be, we're gonna turkey hunt like we turkey hunt, and we're gonna carry a video camera and catch what we can. And as it has turned out, the last several hunts, it's just hard for two people to slip and slide and sneak and crawl
into the trees that you need to be at to kill these turkeys in the woods, in these steep, in these rolling ridges like this, because you're trying to advance as much as you can, because any distance, for every yard that you can gain on them is one less yard they have to think about covering for you. So we try to close the gap as tight as possible, and this was another situation to where they gobbled. I saw that big double tree, and I knew I could crawl and keep that between us and slip around the side of that thing and see another 15, 20 yards just a little bit further over the rise there, which is what I did. And squirrel stayed back on a tree back there behind me, and the hill rolled a little bit, and of course he couldn't see the turkeys that I could see, and they came off of their little bend, they came across a little swell, and they started coming up our side, and they gobbled 3 or 4 times just right there. They were probably 40, 50 yards below me, and he came up the ridge, and once he got up there about 25 yards, he saw a little something he didn't like, I think, but we went ahead and ended it then. But we're trying to bring this to you guys the best as we possibly can. It's pretty tough, and
yeah, well, it's not like you're setting up in anything manicured. I mean, look at this place.
We're doing it on public land, and we're doing it in places that you can very well be here too. Just grab a map, a few shells, and a bunch of determination, and start swinging the bat. It's a beautiful spot we're in. We've had a fun 2.5 days so far. It's not over quite yet.
No.
So for now, we're fixing to burn a cigar.
Let's get to it.
Look at this lighter.
I saw that yesterday.
Give me that lighter.
Who?
Chubbs. He said, I gotta get you a lighter. I just had a normal little blue lighter. It wasn't good enough for Chubbs. I don't know if you guys can tell it, but we had a beautiful morning. But right after I killed my gobbler, it wasn't soon thereafter that the wind, it was like somebody flipped a switch. And you can't hear anything.
Making sure branches don't fall on us.
I mean, it is something serious. But we're trying to strategize. We had this plan. We were going to work up and over and come down and drop down into these bottoms that we had found turkeys in yesterday or the day before. But the thing is, when you're on top, like we are right now, we come over to this bottom because we heard another turkey above the 2 that we worked this morning. I mean, you would never hear him. I'm not sure he can hear you, but you would never hear him for sure. So that strategy is not going to be effective today, I don't think. At least not right now. So I think what we're going to have to do, or what we're going to try to see if it's better, I'm not sure if it's going to be any better. There's a couple really big, like main bottoms, and we've heard turkeys in them the last couple days. We're going to try to work them from the bottom. Try to walk up the bottoms all the way, just being very careful. When you're in the bottom, if they're in the bottom or on the sides, they can see you really easy if you get remotely close to them. So that's the challenge there. There's no hill crest to hide you, but I think that's our only option at the moment. I'm hoping that the wind's not quite as bad in the bottom and maybe you can hear them. I think the turkeys are still doing their thing. They're still in these bottoms on the leeward side of the hills, and they're still probably gobbling some and chasing hens around and feeding and just doing what turkeys do. But it's literally like we're trying to listen underwater right now. I mean, you might as well just put your hands on your ears, because if you could hear him gobble, you'd be in shooting range. It's windier than It was on Monday.
Good day to fly a kite.
Oh, I think you'd lift off if you tried to fly a kite today.
Sailboat.
Mm-hmm. Sailboat, you'd be running 104. Trying to get out so we can move spots. Get somewhere lower. Have to take a break. It's heavy, squirrel.
Sure it is. It's hot too. Degrees and 428 mile an hour wind. The wind checker.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this today. Ooh, just conk yourself in the head.
I think we're doing this today. What were we doing again? Remind me.
This time. Try to keep that body temperature down. You keep doing this.
Bottom. Let's see if I can see. We're slipping up this bottom, and what we're doing is these ridge tops have little fingers that come down. And basically what I'm trying to do is sneak in behind those fingers and almost wrap around them and call to see if anything's on the other side before we break over. You can tell the wind is still extremely loud, but it's not, you know, it's above us. Basically, you can hear it above us. So, thinking the turkeys are down here. It's just, are we going to be able to either hear them or see them before they see or hear us? The deeper we get up in this bottom, narrower it gets, thicker it gets, and the more turkey sign we find. We finally cut some scratching that I think is either today or yesterday's. It's got a big gobbler track right in it. It's really fresh too. We still ain't found him, but we're finding his footprints. Of course he ain't gonna do it now. Y'all probably don't believe me, but he just gobbled one time. Sorry, something good. I knew I should have got the camera out for the first one. It's always the same turkey. He's literally roosted. We heard him from like a half mile 2 mornings ago, and he's roosted in this same spot. I mean, look where I had that pin drop from 2 mornings ago from a half mile. Yeah. I mean,
Another sandwich. Sitting on the back of the truck.
This is a good one.
I was trying it in there to my house. Sorry, I hadn't cleaned up. This life ain't for everybody. What do you think, bro?
I like it. Right home. A little cold.
Here it comes.